Have you ever heard the term, "It's raining cats and dogs"? Let me show you something. It is raining maces and warhammers. More specifically, maces. Alrighty, ladies and gents, to build this most epic mace, these are the items I am fairly certain I'm gonna be using, because parts lists change, but this is what I'm gonna be using. Number one, this piece of metal pipe. I believe this is a trampoline pipe, you know, from the trampoline frame.
Oh my gosh, Jake, you are so stupid. It is clearly not the pole from a trampoline frame. This is obviously a piece of metal electrical conduit.
It's fairly long.
Oh, and I also apologize most heartily for this audio. I'm voiceover recording without a microphone, that's why it sounds like puke.
I'm also gonna use me a bunch of bolts, this old lawnmower blade. I might be using this piece of 1/8 by 2-inch mild steel bar stock. Kind of depends on how I'm feeling, how I see it going, if I need to add any more metal to it besides the blade thing. I'm also not sure, but I might add this ginormous, stinking huge bolt thing. I don't know where I found this. Anyway, I might stick this onto the end of the mace to give it some more weight. I might not. I'm not sure yet. But these are the things I'm gonna be using. Let's get started, shall we? We're gonna start by marking our metal pipe at 28 inches. That's a rather long mace. I might cut it down later if I feel that that's too long, but for now we're gonna start at 28 inches. Go ahead and cut that off with the angle grinder. Okay, now I'm just going to take a file to some of these edges, clean those up, smooth them out a little bit. Nice and clean.
Oh no, it's the puke voice again! I didn't talk about what I was doing for this step, so I figure I better talk about it. Really need to go get my microphone out. Anywho, right now I'm just taking the angle grinder in with a very aggressive wire wheel, and I'm getting rid of all the rust that is on the pieces of metal. The lawnmower blade, the bolt, and the bar stock, whatever. Yeah, the bar stock, they were all covered with rust. And rust on a thing like that, it's not really cool. So I'm using the wire wheel to get rid of all that rust. This wire wheel, it's a super, super awesome way to get rid of rust. I absolutely love it. Gets rid of that rust super, super fast. Well, actually doesn't get rid of it at all, just puts it in the air, but you know what I mean. Puke voice out.
Now that they're all free of rust, I'm going to mark where I want to cut these things out. I'm going to cut this one in half, right down the middle. And then after I cut it down the middle, I'm going to cut it there and there to make it look cool. That's gonna be cool. Now what I'm going to do is take some of this flat stock I have, cut some of it out, and add a couple more plates, smaller ones, on these two sides, perpendicular to these. Okay. Oh, that worked. Now we're gonna go ahead and mark and drill the holes for the bolts. Lawnmower blades are very hard. I forgot I needed to anneal these before trying to drill holes through it. Alright, now we can go again. Alright, I just had an idea. You know, these pieces are pretty cool, like this, but they just don't look mean enough. So I'm gonna make them come in, like that. Make the spikes more pronounced, and just make them look a little meaner. To the grinder! Now we need to go and mark and drill the hole for the bolt that's going to go through both of them. Just like these. Okay! In working through these big pieces of metal, I always find it easiest to start out with a much smaller drill bit than your actual hole needs to be, and sort of pilot hole it first, and then work up through larger drill bits until you get to the size hole that you actually need. And we're through. There we go. Now let's stick them on. It's not fitting quite up against it. I need to grind some of these parts down right here. But I'd rather just do this. Ah, there we go. Oh, what do you know, it fits now. Ow. Ah! Oh! That's... And to spikeify them, I'm swapping out to a grinding disc on the angle grinder. And let's go! Alrighty, and there we go with all the spikes spiked. Oh man, that thing looks awesome. I'm giddy. This thing is so cool. But it does seem to be a little lacking in color. I have this copper pipe here, and I'm going to try to cut this thing down one of the sides, open it up, flatten it out, and then cut out and grind out some pieces to act as some sort of an overlay over this section here. I'll put like a copper plate down this section, one on this side and one on this side, and I think it will just make it really, really, really cool. So first I'm going to cut this down one of the ends. I'm going to use a jigsaw with a metal cutting blade. That should make short work of this copper. Nope. Long story short, that's not working, so I'm gonna try to use some of these. And there we go. Now let's open it up. There we go. Oh man, I have just spent at least an hour working on these things. Hopefully it was worth all that work. I get carried away in details. This was supposed to be a super simple Mace thing, and I'm already on day 2. Alright, it's official. That was definitely worth it. Sweeto! Now, let's work on the boring end of the mace. Now, I've been thinking for a while about what I was going to do for the back end. Right now, it's just straight pipe, and I don't have any kinds of fittings or anything to go over that to kind of give it a more finished look. And the only thing I can think to do to make it look better than just straight pipe, because that looks kind of, I don't know, not very cool. I think I'm going to do something similar to these two pieces right here. I've got one marked out there, and I'm going to stick one right there and one on the bottom. Similar to this, except turned around and looks better. And that'll just give a nice little hilt thing to the end of this. I think that'll work pretty well. Alright, got the pieces cut out, got the pieces ground out, got a couple beautiful holes drilled in the several times aforementioned pieces. Got the pieces attached, and cutting off the bolts. Filing down the bolts. Beautiful! Alright, now because I'm gonna feel incredibly lame just wrapping the handle with electrical tape or duct tape or something, and I don't have like hockey tape or something more classy, you know, I'm going to have to sacrifice my purse. I'll just skip to when I have it completely cut apart. Oh, I just realized something. Before we can do the handle wrap, I need to paint this pipe. And of course, painting it means I have to take all the things apart for the 525th time. Oh well. Alrighty, now it is painted up. Looking a little bit better. A lot better. Way better. Looks really cool now. I'm going to take the leather, flip over the piece of leather I'm going to be using, and spray it with contact cement. Then I also spray the part of the handle going to be covered with leather with contact cement as well. And then we let that dry. We will then take it and carefully apply it to the handle. This is it. So like any decent, self-respecting weapon builder, I built this amazing weapon, this war mace. I knew that after building it, the one thing
to make this video complete was to go to the store and buy a watermelon, and then bring that watermelon home, set it on this table, and smash it to smithereens with the mace. That's the one thing that I needed to do, and I knew that. So I went to the store, went straight over to get me a watermelon, and you know they cost $7? $7 for one miserable little watermelon. I bought a coconut instead, $1.88. I'm embarrassed, but I bent my spike.
And with that final crushing blow, this video is about to end. This is a stinking awesome mace. I'm really actually super proud of myself for how this turned out. In my head, when I was thinking about making it, I did not envision anything near as good as this. So it's always great when you surprise yourself. Hopefully you guys liked this video. It's a really nice, simple way to make a mace out of a lot of stuff I'm guessing you probably have laying around or can easily acquire. Now the reason I actually made this mace was because me and a friend of mine from Instructables.com are doing this like medieval-ish build series right now, where we both build different medieval-ish projects and make tutorials on them for Instructables. I've got a link down in the description below for the projects we've done so far. He's done some pretty cool stuff. This is my first build in that series. I'm late to the party as usual. Anyway, go check that out. If you see me doing a lot of medieval Eve projects in the future, don't be surprised, that's for that. Anyway guys, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. I'm really doing this channel to inspire other guys like me, or girls for that matter, but most girls are pretty boring when it comes to building maces and stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, I would greatly appreciate it. I try to put out a video once a week, all really great projects like this. If you liked the video, go ahead and like it. That puts me in front of more people as well. If you want to comment, do that too. I just said that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Jake out.